Hi, I am Dr. Katelyn B. I'm a physical therapist here at City of Hope in Phoenix, and I am here today to talk to everyone about heart-healthy exercises to all of you cancer fighters. First off, one of the most important things for our cardiovascular system is just movement. Getting up and moving is so incredibly important for our whole body. Studies have shown even light intensity efforts can offset serious health risks of being sedentary. The heart is a muscle, and in order to improve its function, we need to make it work harder. In order to do that, we can do daily things like walking, even simple things like getting up, walking to the bathroom, walking around your house, doing laundry, getting yourself dressed and bathed. Those are all things that task our system, and they really require a lot of effort. So when you notice that, gosh, I feel really fatigued or I'm out of breath, that's sometimes a good thing because that means that our heart is really working. We're making it pump harder, and we're also improving our lung function all at the same time. So some of the easy ways to help just to be on like a regular routine with exercise is just to think about it. The AHA, or the American Heart Association, recommends 150 minutes of moderate intensity aerobic activity a week. So when you hear 150, it sounds like a lot. But when you break it down, that's really 30 minutes a day for 5 days a week. And if that still sounds like a lot, because depending on where you are with treatment, if it's before you've had surgery, after you've had surgery, if you're just in the middle of chemo or radiation, that can sound pretty intimidating and a little overwhelming. So let's break it down even further, and let's say 10 minutes 3 times a day. And that's how you can achieve your 30 minutes. So maybe a 10-minute light walk in the morning, or that could even be 10 minutes of folding laundry. Anything that we do overhead, raising our arms up, is going to help make that heart work even harder. So we're still getting the same benefits as walking. One thing that you do want to make note of is when you are exercising, using those 30 minutes or 10-minute intervals, is that we're working hard, but not so hard that we're not able to talk. We want to continue to be able to make full sentences. And you definitely will notice that you're breathy, that you're a little out of breath, and that you can feel that heart pounding a little bit more, and that is great. That's exactly what you want. We often, for physical therapy, look at what we call a Borg RPE, or a rate of perceived exertion. It's a scale, which is a little odd. It starts at 6 and it goes to 20. 6 would be just sitting in a chair, resting. 20 would be like the hardest work you've ever done. You just can't work any harder because you just feel like your body is just going to collapse because it's just working that hard. What we recommend is to try to stay into between 13 and 15. So that would be more like pretty significantly hard work, but we're not max effort at that point yet. So again, being able to talk, and it's okay to feel out of breath, and it's okay for your heart to feel like it's beating a little bit faster in your chest. Again, that's how we're working that heart muscle, that's how we're improving lung function, and that's how we're improving blood circulation through our whole body. So if we think about it, as our heart works and pumps harder and faster, we're getting more and more blood to the rest of our body. So we're working on circulation, we're improving the oxygen flow to all of our muscles. So that just helps significantly on so many realms. But other than a medical aspect, it really is beneficial from relieving stress, improving mood, helping us with sleep. It lowers our risk of chronic disease, including dementia and depression. And overall, it just really improves your mood. I feel like if I get outside and just have a little bit of, vitamin D from the sunshine and even walk for 10 minutes, it's just overall, I feel so much better. So I challenge you, even if it's just for 5 minutes and you say, that's all I have today, 5 minutes is better than nothing at all. And so it's really important just to move our bodies every day. So if you're just starting out on your journey with getting back into exercise, if, say you 150 minutes sounds way intimidating, let's start with 15 and do 2 minutes, every day, or 3 minutes for 5 days, and then gradually increase. And that's how we do with our patients whenever we come in, or whenever they come into the clinic and see us. We always gradually increase. It's not an all or nothing, and you have to meet your body where it is that moment and that day, because every day is going to be different and we're going to feel different every single day. So even if you have achieved that 150 minutes, if today's not the day that you're not feeling it, that's okay. Take a step back, listen to your body, and just do what you can. Because again, just getting up, you're at home and you're having a tough day and you just really want to lay in bed all day, challenge yourself to get up once an hour and walk around the house and then get back in bed, and that's okay. We just want to get our body moving. We want to help our system by making that heart pump a little bit harder, making our breathing work a little bit harder so we keep those lung bases clear, and improve lung function overall. One of the things that I thought was really interesting as I was diving into some of this information more specific to oncology and just heart health overall, I was looking at a daily step count, because a lot of times our patients ask us, what is a good step count and that's achievable. And when I looked it up online, it used to always be 10,000 steps per day was what was always recommended. And come to find out, that was actually initiated in a campaign by Japan some years ago, and they just said, hey, 10,000 steps, that is perfect, let's just do that. But there was no evidence-based science or research to back that information up. So the American Heart Association actually just put out a study. It's a prospective association of daily steps with cardiovascular disease, a harmonized meta-analysis. And what they discovered is that among older adults, so that would be 60 years and older, taking 6,000 to 9,000 steps per day was associated with 40 to 50% lower risk of cardiovascular disease compared with taking only 2,000 steps per day. So I thought that was a pretty significant outcome, and it was nice to know that 10,000 isn't just a set number, because again, we are all different people and our bodies are made up differently. We're all at different steps in our journey, and so just knowing that 6,000 to 9,000, which is a pretty big range, is a good goal to look for on a daily basis, and achieving more cardiovascular exercise throughout the day. One thing that I did want to take note of, just like the 150 minutes, if that sounds overwhelming, just like the 6,000 and 9,000 steps, say you look at your watch or your phone and you see that you're only at 2,000 steps, don't try to go for 6,000 the next day. That would be pretty taxing on your body, pretty tough, and really might make you feel unmotivated the next day, because you're going to tucker yourself out so much that you're going to say, well, this is just not achievable, not attainable, I give up. And that's not what we want. So if you're at 2,000 steps, hey, maybe try to increase by 500 steps this week. And by the end of the week, if you're still feeling pretty good, then next week try to go up another 500 steps. So the basic principle we always we like to go back to is kind of a 10% increase in intensity or amount that we're increasing per week. So 10%. So a therapist friend of mine suggested, she said, hey, if you can only do 10 steps today, shoot for 11 tomorrow. That's a 10% gain and a 10% increase. So we just want to constantly look at ways that we could improve and increase, but not overdo. And it is a really fine balance. So just, again, listen to your body, do what you can, but just strive to always move. Going really down to some of the basics, if you are just struggling, having a really hard day, things like getting up and doing your hair. Again, your hands are up over your arms here. And when they're overhead, that's going to increase your heart rate. So simple tasks and activities like that, they might not seem like exercise, but they are exercise for your body. So count those things. And that can, 10 minutes of doing your hair or your makeup or washing your hair, your face, those all add up throughout the day, and give yourself credit. The same thing with folding laundry. You have to hold a shirt up to fold it. I'm holding sheets up in the air. Things like that, they're for sure exercise. You might not it might not feel like it to you, because on paper, exercise is walking, biking, running, but that's really not true. Exercise is anything that requires our heart to pump harder, and for our body to have to work. So just remember those little things as you go through your journey. And then once you do get to a point where regular exercise feels good, things like walking, bike riding, Tai Chi, yoga, Gardening, oh my goodness, if you haven't gardened in a while, it really can increase that heart rate quickly. There are just so many different aspects that you don't think about. So anything that brings joy and can increase your heart rate is a cardiovascular effort and a cardiovascular work. So just do what makes you feel good and feel happy in that moment, and just listen to your body. And I think that's I think all the information I have for you today. And thank you so much for joining us.